We already know as well he forces 2 million Canadians to a food bank and doubled housing costs, is quadrupling the carbon tax. He has $1 billion fund that whose own bureaucrats say reminds them of the sponsorship scandal. Why is this minister and his boss, the Prime Minister, covering up this scandal and waste of Canadian tax dollars?
If one Canadian had to pay off one of Justin Trudeau's scandals, let's call it the Green Energy Slush Fund scandal, $400 million scandal. Do you know how long it would take for that one Canadian to pay that off? They would have had to start working when the pyramids were being built. The Aztecs, Cyrus the Great, the Roman Empire, the Enlightenment, First World War, the Second World War, the Cold War, the first wars of this century. You'd have to look at every civilization that has existed since ancient history to modern times for one of Justin Trudeau's scandals.
There's enormous opportunity and enormous potential in that realization.
Perspective on what something like $400 million is, which is really just one scandal. Remember, one scandal of multiple scandals. The numbers can become meaningless. I mean, 400 million here, 300 million there, the Arrive Scan app, like the list has been endless. Basically every month we see one scandal or another from Justin Trudeau and his NDP Liberals. There's so much confusion sometimes about just how deeply rotten these NDP Liberals are. So hold on, let's just come back for a minute. Perspective is important. My friend and colleague Raquel Dancho was just talking about this in the House of Commons a couple of days ago. The average income for a Canadian is about $58,000. So the Green Slush Fund, $400 million. At the average income of $58,000 a year, a Canadian would have to work over 6,000 years. Like I said, that's about when they were constructing Stonehenge. Imagine that they're just putting up the rocks at Stonehenge, and a couple of guys are sitting at desks setting up shop. I mean, don't mind me, I'm going to be hanging out here, working away to pay off Justin Trudeau's scandals till 2023, 2024, just a few thousand years. Don't worry, carry on with what you're doing here. Nice sun, good rocks, it's going to tell us something about the future, we'll be mystified. But in the meantime, I got to get started because Justin Trudeau is going to waste so much of our money. We're talking about a scale of waste and corruption unseen before in modern times. If you're thinking about all of the corruption, the waste, and the scandal, we're talking about tens of billions of dollars. Take a minute to think about that. That would basically mean an average Canadian would have to start work from basically when God said, "Let there be light." $400 million Green Slush Fund scandal. What does that buy? Well, that actually means 4,700 nurses, 1,700 medical doctors, 89,000 kids to play hockey for a season, 300,000 Canadian families of four and their groceries for a month. You pay about 40 to 50% taxes. That means you're basically working from January to June for the tax man. And where does that money go? It goes to liberal insiders who cut checks for themselves. That's the cost of corruption. That's the cost of waste. That's the cost of Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet saying, that's what we mean when we say they're not worth the cost. This whole video has been about perspective. The cost of Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh's corruption, the cost of their corruption to an average Canadian and everyday family. So when you're getting ready to vote, just remember, they're not worth the cost.